India beating West Indies by an innings and 92 runs wasn't really a surprise on day 4. It was expected that the Indian spinners, once they get, especially R. Ashwin, once he got a wicket, it was likely that he was going to run through the West Indies lineup. But the battle between himself and Sam Wales was definitely one of the highlights of the day's play. It showed how good a bull R. Ashwin was. During the lunch session, Ashwin was taken apart by Malcolm Samuels. He drove him brilliantly. He used his feet to hit him over the top of the mid fielder, and in an over, he sort of unsettled Ashwin. Even Ashwin himself came round the wicket during one of the overs, and he tried to just lure him by flight, but Samuels just went down the track and hit him over the top of the mid fielder. It seemed like Ashwin was once again under pressure, but after the lunch session, he came back. He bowled some tight overs to Marlon Samuels himself, and there was one delivery that went straight on with the arm, and it sort of Marlon Samuels from then on decided not to use his feet. He decided to stay in his crease, and at that moment, Ashwin started flighting the ball. You could see Samuels was trapped in his crease, neither forward nor backward. He was just staying in his crease. He was just that one delivery that just went straight on had created a doubt in his mind, and Ashwin used that piece of the mental block in Marlon Samuels brilliantly. He started tossing the ball up, bowling a bit slower, started to turn the ball, and there was one delivery before Samuels was bowled, some 3 or 4 deliveries before his dismissal. There was one delivery that struck Marlon Samuels in his bat. It was a very close decision which got in favor of Samuels, but that ensured that Marlon Samuels started playing for the turn again. And Ashwin soon followed up with the one that went a bit straight on. Samuels played inside the line. He was playing for the turn and he got bowled. So once that sort of a delivery, Ashwin bowls that sort of a delivery, you know that Ashwin is in full flight, and he's going to run through the opposition. Regarding the West Indies batting lineup, I would say no, the late Tony Greig once said about the Indian batting. The Indian side starts at number 6, Robin Singh. It's similar. The Indian West Indies style starts with Marlon Samuels, literally. You get through the openers, Darren Bravo and Marlon Samuels. You're not sure of who is going to come up with a big 100. I think there's a case for Jason Holder to come up the order, maybe even ahead of this Roston Chase, and he can even. There's no need for Jermaine Blackwood at this stage, going by his form and the manner in which he never showed any grit to fight out. He just got out on both innings. Maybe there's an argument that Jermaine Blackwood never had played the time which he was expected to play. So maybe there's a case that he can get one more game. But there's certainly a case for Jason Holder to come up the order and bat. He bats really well. More even the top order batsmen have struggled against the Indian paces, and Jason Holder seems to be in complete control. He doesn't seem to be one who is struggling for runs. He looks confident at the crease. Even Carlos Brathwaite. But the problem with West Indies is that they have plenty of bits and pieces cricketers. The T20 cricket has literally ensured that the West Indies Test cricket is way behind. Even Darren Bravo himself opted out of the World T20. I wonder what he was doing during all those days. He said that he wanted to play only Test cricket, and then he opted out of T20 World Cup, which was back then it sounded very good, but looking at the way he had played, for a guy who said that he wants to focus on Test cricket and not T20s, it wasn't the manner in which you expect such a guy to play. He came out and he just gave it away. Both innings, he first innings he did some hard work, but then again he didn't pay off in the second innings. So I don't know what he has worked during those times. West Indies on the whole, the only positives as far as the batting is concerned is maybe Devendra Bishu. Devendra Bishu was the only guy in both the innings who looked like facing close to 100 balls. The way in which he tackled Amit Mishra's googly, that was a lesson for the top order batsman. The cover drive that he hit off Amit Mishra late in the day, when he read the googly and he just pushed it through the covers. So there are some positives for the West Indies lower order, but on the whole, West Indies are going down. The first Test match was big disappointment for them, and India on the other hand, except for Chesar Pujara's form, though it can't be termed bad because he played some 60 balls, he was there out in the middle. If he gets going, I think India will easily win the second Test as well, going by the form. And they have covered all bases. If it's a green top, they have 3 quickies in good form. If it's a spin track, then they have even Ravindra Jadeja to come in place of someone else to do the three spinners can do the job. So India have covered all bases, and Virat Kohli, I think at this stage can do no wrong.